when the snow comes to cover the ground. Well, it's a time for play.
Dean Martin was the king of cool, a superstar with charm, talent, and a fortune most could only dream of. But behind the glitz, tragedy struck when his son, Dean Paul Martin, died in a plane crash at just 35. Suddenly, the man who had once commanded the biggest stages and Hollywood's brightest lights retreated from public life, leaving fans wondering if the legend would ever perform again. Yet when he passed away years later, the wealth he left behind shocked his family and revealed a side of Dean Martin few ever knew. How did a nightclub singer from Ohio turn into a fortune-making legend? And what secrets were buried in his empire? The answers will take us from his humble beginnings to the very peak of fame, through heartbreak, and into the lasting legacy that still surprises the world today. But before we get to the fortune, his journey begins in a small Ohio town where a boy named Dino Crocetti would discover the power of laughter, survival, and ambition in ways no one could imagine. Dean Martin, born Dino Paul Crocetti on June 7, 1917, in Steubenville, Ohio, entered the world as the son of Italian immigrants chasing the American dream. At home, he spoke only Italian, and when he stepped into school at age 5, he faced teasing and ridicule from classmates who mocked his broken English and foreign name. Feeling like an outsider, Dino learned early that laughter could be a shield. He discovered that humor could transform mockery into friendship, a skill that would later captivate audiences worldwide. Life at home wasn't easy either. His parents worked tirelessly, scraping together enough to keep the family afloat, and Dino knew from a young age that nothing in life was handed freely. By the time he reached his teenage years, he had already found an escape in music. Drumming became his first passion, giving him joy and a sense of control amid the chaos of schoolyard taunts and family struggles. At 16, Dino made a bold choice. He dropped out of school to work. His first jobs were grueling, sweating in the steel mills, facing relentless physical labor, and testing the limits of his endurance. He also stepped into the world of boxing under the name Kid Crochet, fighting 12 matches and earning only one victory. The bruises, broken knuckles, and crooked nose he carried weren't just scars. They were lessons in resilience and determination. Even during Prohibition, he embraced risk. Bootlegging liquor and working as a blackjack dealer in secret clubs. These experiences taught him toughness, street smarts, and the charm that would later make audiences fall in love with his effortless charisma. Dino was learning to navigate a world that demanded both courage and charisma, laying the groundwork for a future far beyond his small Ohio neighborhood. Little did anyone know that the shy, Italian-speaking boy who learned to survive with humor and grit would soon step onto the nightclub stage and meet a partner who would change his life forever. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. As Dino grew older, he kept chasing freedom and excitement wherever he could find it. Music remained a refuge. He drummed in local bands, honing rhythm and timing that would one day make his performances effortless. But life outside music was harsh. He boxed under the name Kid Crochet, enduring 12 grueling matches that left him with broken knuckles, a crooked nose, and scars that marked both body and character. Each punch taught him resilience, patience, and the grit needed to survive a world that didn't forgive weakness. During Prohibition, Dino found himself drawn to the edges of society. Bootlegging alcohol and dealing blackjack in secret clubs introduced him to the nightlife of daring, risk, and charm. These experiences shaped the street-smart persona that would later make audiences fall in love with his effortless charisma. He learned how to read people, entertain them, and navigate high-stakes situations with a grin, skills that were as valuable offstage as on. By the early 1940s, music called him back. He began singing in small nightclubs under the name Dino Martini, inspired by an opera singer he admired. His relaxed, smooth style caught the attention of audiences, but it wasn't an instant success. A performance in a fancy New York club flopped, leaving him embarrassed, but not defeated. Dino kept practicing, learning, and improving, refusing to let one failure define him. It was during one of these New York performances at the Glass Hat Club in 1945 that destiny intervened. A young comedian named Jerry Lewis interrupted Dino's set with wild antics and silly jokes. Instead of derailing the show, The audience roared with laughter, and Dino realized something extraordinary was happening. A partnership was forming that would change both their lives forever. But forming a duo was just the beginning. Their first performance together would spark a revolution in entertainment. The chemistry between Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis was instant. Their first spontaneous performance at the 500 Club in Atlantic City on July 25, 1946, transformed their separate acts into a perfect mix of music and comedy. Jerry, dressed as a bumbling busboy, crashed Dean's set with clattering dishes and wild antics, while Dean played along with his smooth, effortless charm. The audience went wild. That night, a nightclub act became a sensation, and the duo was on the fast track to stardom. Soon they were performing in New York's biggest clubs, including the famed Copacabana. Dean's cool, relaxed singing balanced Jerry's unpredictable humor, creating an energy that felt fresh every night. There was no strict script, just spontaneity, laughter, one in timing perfected through countless performances. By 1949, NBC recognized their unique appeal and offered them the Martin and Lewis Show on the radio, bringing their act into homes across America. Hollywood came calling soon after. Their first film, My Friend Irma, 1949, introduced them to cinema audiences. And even though Dean wasn't the slapstick focus, his charm and singing caught on. Between 1949 and 1956, they made 16 movies, many of which became huge hits. Hits like At War with the Army and The Stooge proved that their blend of music and comedy could dominate both stage and screen. In 1950, their debut on the Colgate Comedy Hour elevated them to television pioneers, breaking conventions with unscripted banter and improvisation that audiences couldn't get enough of. Behind the laughter, cracks were forming in one of entertainment's most iconic partnerships, cracks that would forever alter Dean Martin's path. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. After the split with Jerry Lewis in 1956, many assumed Dean Martin's career might fade, but Dean proved them wrong. He leaned into his effortless charm, focusing on his smooth singing style while experimenting with more serious acting roles. His first solo film, 10,000 Bedrooms, 1957, didn't make waves, but it marked the start of a new chapter. By 1958, his performance alongside Marlon Brando in Montgomery Clift in The Young Lions won critical praise, showing audiences he was more than just a comedic singer. He was a serious actor with range and depth. Meanwhile, his music career soared. Signing with Capitol Records, Dean released hit after hit, culminating in the 1964 smash Everybody Loves Somebody, which famously knocked the Beatles off the top of the charts. His voice, smooth, relaxed, yet emotionally resonant, became the soundtrack of a generation, solidifying his status as a superstar. Around the same time, Dean became a key member of the Rat Pack alongside Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop, and Peter Lawford. Their performances in Las Vegas, especially at the Sands Hotel, were legendary. A mix of music, witty banter, and playful teasing that made every show feel spontaneous. Dean's laid-back charm and signature cool persona perfectly balanced the group's dynamic energy. Songs like That's Amore and Ain't That a Kick in the Head became inseparable from his identity, defining not only his career, but the entire era of Las Vegas entertainment. Television followed, and The Dean Martin Show, 1965 to 1974, ran for 264 episodes, blending music, comedy, and celebrity guests. Dean's improvisational wit, relaxed style, and occasional playful drinks, often just apple juice, made him a beloved figure in homes across America. Ratings soared, and in 1966 to 67, he won a Golden Globe for his effortless charisma. But even as his public persona thrived, personal tragedies would leave a mark that fame could never erase. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Beyond the lights, applause, and fortune, Dean Martin's life was defined by family. He married 3 times and had 8 children: Craig, Claudia, Gail, Diana, Dean Paul, Rhea, Gina, and Sasha. Despite fame and relentless schedules, he tried to be a devoted father. With his first wife, Betty McDonald, he had 4 children, in navigating divorce while staying present. His second marriage to John Beager produced 3 more children, and even after their split in 1973, they remained friends, co-parenting with care. His third marriage to Catherine Hahn was brief, but he adopted her daughter Sasha, treating her equally with his own children. Dean's role as a father was a constant amid Hollywood chaos. Dinners at home, bedtime stories, and shared laughter offered stability to children who grew up surrounded by stars like Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe. His daughter Diana often recalls him as warm, funny, and genuinely present, a man who could make even mundane moments magical. But tragedy struck in 1987 when Dean Paul Martin, Dean's eldest son with Jean Beager, died in a military jet crash at age 35. The loss devastated Dean, only pushing him away from public life and prompting him to cancel tours, including reunions with Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. Friends noticed a quieter, withdrawn Dean, and he even struggled with drinking as he grappled with grief. Golf, Western films, and simple routines became his solace, giving him a quiet peace away from Hollywood's demands. Even in heartbreak, Dean's love for family remained unwavering. He ensured all his children felt equally valued and cherished, bridging multiple households and navigating complex family dynamics with grace. While Dean's private world was shaped by love and loss, his public life and financial legacy were about to intersect in ways that would astonish everyone. When Dean Martin passed away on Christmas Day, 1995, he left behind more than memories of smooth songs, unforgettable performances, and laughter. He left a fortune of $30 million, the product of decades of success in music, film, and television. His earnings were more than just money. They were the result of smart choices, savvy investments, and careful management. Dean bought real estate early, including a Beverly Hills home for $120,000 that he expanded into a 12,000-square-foot mansion, later sold for millions. He also owned a Palm Springs property, ensuring his family had tangible wealth beyond royalties. To protect his family and legacy, Dean created the Dean Martin Family Trust. This trust manages royalties from his music, TV shows, and licensing deals, guaranteeing ongoing income for his 8 children. Shows like The Dean Martin Show still air, while merchandise, licensing, and modern deals keep his name alive with new generations. In 2023, a major partnership with iconic artist group was formed to expand his legacy through merchandise, licensing, and even biographical films, introducing Dean Martin to younger audiences around the world. His children, particularly Diana, have played an active role in celebrating and preserving his legacy. Diana tours worldwide performing his songs, shares stories about her father, and organizes the annual Dean Martin Festival in his hometown of Steubenville, Ohio. His life, from humble beginnings to Hollywood royalty, shows the enduring power of talent, resilience, and family devotion. Even decades after his death, Dean Martin's charm, music, and empire continue to inspire, and the full story of the fortune he left behind still surprises people today. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this.